I'm Brenda.
And I'm Kristi. We're two friends from high school who are connecting and reconnecting over music and memories.
Welcome to Normal Bias Podcast.
We're glad you're here.
Here we go. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Normal Bias Podcast. It's Brenda and Kristi, and we're talking to a special guest, David Delgado. And he's Hey, David. He is a friend of mine that I met 5 years ago. He owns the local CrossFit gym or box, I guess is the official term. He and his wife, and they have a partner, Sid. They own it. I can literally walk to it, like it's so close. It's called Clockwork CrossFit. And Kristi, you'll love this. It's our favorite color is painted inside. It's orange. We love orange.
Is that a Stanley Kubrick fan, or did it just work out that way?
What's that?
I said, is someone a Stanley Kubrick fan, or did it just work out that way?
Oh, no. So with that, actually, that was looking at all the gyms in the area. That was actually one of the colors that wasn't used. They had red, gyms had red, they had blue, they had green, and we're like, man, well, orange is a color we can go for. So it kind of went that way. And little did we know that there was a movie called Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
I've never heard of it.
Right. I have heard of it. I've never watched it. And actually, when I was writing it down to say that, I was like, I'm glad you asked that, Kristi, because I didn't know, and I wondered. But anyway, David, so I kind of told you briefly before we started talking that each episode is the title of a song. And so we, back in the day, we make mixtapes for people. We'd put songs on there and we'd hand them off. So if I were making you a mixtape, David, the song I would pick, and I don't know if this is an oldie, like even for me, and I'm way older than you, but it's by Don Williams. It's a country song by Don Williams called I Believe in You. I don't know if you've heard it, but I'll have to share it for you. The reason why I chose that song is because I was going to get emotional. Those words, I believe in you, you have said those words to me so many times, and a lot of the times I don't believe in myself, but you are one of those people, and this is why I wanted to talk to you, because y'all, David is just an awesome person. He's a cheerleader for you, and when he says things, like, he means that. And so in this song, it's a really great song. I hope you'll hear it. I'll send you the link, but he talks about all the things he believes in. He believes in love. He believes in music. He believes in families. He believes in old folks and children. And then it's always ends with, I believe in you. And so I picked that song for you because since I met you 5 years ago, how I met David was my neighbor Tracy and her husband Jeff, who have been with David and CrossFit or Clockwork since it started. How many years you guys have? It's been over
about
5 years.
6.5.
Yeah. Okay. So Clockwork opened 6.5 years ago. I was going through a divorce, and Tracy and her husband, like I said, they've been members of Clockwork since the beginning. They had bought in I guess 3 months, like a subscription to come use the box, and they had originally bought it for their son, Pike, and I think Pike probably started out but decided it wasn't for him. I'm not real sure the details, but so with that, Tracy offered it to me. She asked David, well, could I transfer it over to my friend Brenda? And so that's how you said yes graciously. And so for like 3 months, I can't remember the time, like I think it was a summer, but for 3 months, I became a member of Clockwork. And that's when I met David. And from the get-go, you and Sid is his partner, the trainers. You make me feel like I can do anything. And you know, CrossFit, if you've never done it, it's intimidating and people think I can't do that. Well, if I can do it, you can do it. And you guys welcomed me, and I met people, and it was awesome. Um, and so yeah, so that's Kristi, kind of how Dave and I got to know each other. And then from there, his daughter is now in kindergarten at the school where I work. And so yeah. And okay, I just want to give some examples of why that whole I believe in you and how generous you are, David, is that when my dad was sick, he created a WOD. A WOD is the workout of the day, in honor of my dad. And people, I think it was like $10 you would donate or have a love offering, and you would come and do the workout. And he did that in honor of my dad when he was sick. And the money that was raised, I remember my parents were it helped to pay for medicine and some groceries for them. And I know you just did a George Floyd WOD, Jeff said. But here's one thing that just set me over the edge with, like, I am so lucky to have this person in my life because he is so amazing. During quarantine, they had to close down the box, and David and his wife, Caroline and Sid, instead of having that equipment, all the gym equipment, the mobile stuff instead of having it just sit inside the box with behind the door, they let their members like take pieces of that equipment, where it be a bike or weights or whatever. And so I get this text from David, and he's like, I left you some stuff outside. So I had a kettlebell, and so I have a kettlebell and some weights and a box to do box jumps. And I was like, wow, like, he believes in me so much, and he's like just encouraging me to keep moving and going. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, you have like kids and it's quarantine and all these things, but you're still thinking of other people. And I just thank you so much. Like,
Of course.
you have no idea how much that just means to me. And so yeah, so basically that's why I wanted to talk to you, because I just wanted you to know that it really means so much that you believe in me that much. And I don't want to disappoint you, and I want I want to do good things because you encourage me to do that. And I know that's just how you are, and it's just awesome. So, Kristi, I feel like I'm just talking and talking.
No. So I don't want to be creepy, but David, your name has actually come up in conversation over the years. And Brenda has talked about y'all and how awesome I would call it a gym because I'm not a CrossFitter, I'm sorry, but how awesome.
Oh, it's okay.
And how encouraging you've been. And I love that. And she told me, so my son just got home from his first day of strength and conditioning.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of like, David, that's kind of where I'm at. So we have a daughter who's almost 17 and a son who's almost 12. When you were younger like that, would you say you were an athlete or not so much? Or how would you tell me about when you were younger?
Well, I was always active. That's one thing that people don't understand about how I gained weight, because I was always active. I've always been outside playing basketball, riding bikes, doing everything except for football. My parents never let me play football. But I was always active. I've always been a skinny kid, always thin, that's just me. So yeah, growing up, I was active until I got older and graduated high school. Started working night shift at a construction company, remodeling some schools and certain parts of different job sites. So trying to go back to school, being an x-ray tech, of course, I was going to school at night, working graveyard shift, And then getting home and, pretty much just taking a shower and going to bed, I lost track of being active. So I'd say it took about maybe a little under a year to do the damage it did, which was probably I stopped weighing myself actually once I hit about 245, 250. But that was still about 6 months, 7 months before I actually started going down.
So, and that,
sorry. How old were you when you realized you needed to lose weight?
About 20, somewhere around there, 21. So what made me there was two points, two turning points. One point was I started having just regular health issues, nothing serious, that I knew of, but just going to the regular doctor checkup. I had to get my shots and stuff like that, just trying to keep up to date on that. So I had blood work done. And when the results came back, the doctor literally told me like, hey, your cholesterol is pretty much bacon. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, man, I don't even remember the numbers, but he gave me a range of what it should be. And it was like above that. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was kind of one point where I was like, man, I didn't realize what I've been doing. This was before McDonald's and all that put their calorie count onto it. But if you want, I can go over the list. I remember exactly what I would eat through all that time.
Okay, so that's the other thing I'd tell Kristi is that, because we talk a lot about walking your walk, talking your talk. Like when you go to David's gym or CrossFit, he is literally there to help you because he's been there and he understands. And I never felt intimidated. I never felt like, oh gosh, I don't look like everyone else. Even the patrons of your box were cheering me on and rooting for me, and even I'd love to talk to Sid too, because I got two brothers and friends for life there, like in just that short time. But I do remember you taking me aside one day and saying, hey, look, I understand, because look, and you showed me a picture. You said, I have had to lose weight and I know the struggle. And so I thought that too. Was like, wow, you didn't have to share that with me, but you did. And I thought that was cool. So, so you lost the weight, and then so I didn't know you were going to school to be an X-ray tech. So what took you from X-ray tech to owner of a CrossFit?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, and sometimes I forget I used to do X-rays. It's been a while, but actually, when I was doing construction, we were throwing sod and grass squares outside on the side of the freeway. And it was with one of my dad's friends he's been working with him forever. And he was actually one of our neighbors. It was hot. It was probably the middle of summer. We were out there and he looked over at me, and he doesn't really speak English that much. And he was like, man, how old are you? And like I said, I think I was about 19 or 20, somewhere around there. And I told him, he was like, didn't you just graduate high school? And I was like, yeah, I did. Well, what are you doing over here next to me? Like, I'm not from here, So he started breaking it down, and I was like, dang, that's right. Like, I'm right here next to this guy. I should be doing better. So then right after that, I started looking to getting into the medical field because I wanted to help people, of course. So I started looking into X-ray school, and within, I think, 2 weeks, I was already sitting in a classroom, which I thought was crazy. Like, it was just a quick turnaround. But yeah, so that was that part. And then getting into X-ray, I worked from going to X-ray to owning the gym, that idea, this is where I started losing the weight, was the doctor that I used to work for. He actually had his car repossessed. So I had to go and get his lunch every day. And he was a pretty fit guy. He was small, but he was fit. And every day it was a Subway salad for him. So I was going to get his salad and then going to get my cheeseburger. And I was like, man, I can't do this. You're eating up my whole lunchtime, getting yours plus mine. So then I was like, man, screw it. I'm just going to get Subway. So he ate that salad for about 4 months straight. And before you know it, I was eating a sandwich, which was a foot long, then turned into a 6-inch, then turned into the salad. And yeah, the crazy part is Subway is actually what started my diet routine and weight loss.
That is really cool.
And I didn't notice it.
Right.
I didn't notice until people were telling me, like, hey, you're kind of shrinking over there. What are you doing? I was like, man, honestly, I'm just getting the doctor's lunch and eating Subway with them.
That's cool.
Well, thank goodness he didn't pay on his car, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Like, you know, like that he was a McDonald's guy.
Isn't that crazy? Like, wow, can you imagine if that hadn't happened? Oh my gosh. And so from there, then did you have the idea to start the gym?
Well, actually, that was Carolyn's idea. So right around the time that I started losing weight and then being a little more active, not as much as I used to, but just being a little more active, I never was in the gym. You're never going to see me over there pumping iron, anything like that. I was always a guy that would just go in. I bought the membership just for a basketball court. That's me. So I've always just been like conditioning and cardio. But when we tried to have Melanie, we probably went about 2.5, 3 years, and it was just nothing was happening. We went to a doctor, one of her doctors, and he was like, hey, well, maybe y'all should try and lose a little more weight. Well, even though I was already on the process of it, she was still a little big because she used to work at Moe's Barbecue. Do you know where that's at?
Yes.
So they used to bring all the food home. Yeah, so they used to bring all the food home. So we would always have late night ribs and brisket. But the doctor was like, hey, you should try and lose some weight. You know, that I've seen plenty of cases where that comes out in a positive way. So then that's what led to her training with Sid.
Okay. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So then she lost, I think, about 50 pounds. I'll send you the picture later also of her transformation that she did during that time.
I would love that.
But yeah, so like I said, I would always go on the basketball court and she'd go train with Sid while I was working out. And this was before we had kids. And then all of a sudden, probably about 2 months later, 3 months, somewhere around there, she ends up pregnant with Melanie. So we're like, oh, it works. It works.
Yeah. See, I didn't realize that is awesome. And see, I didn't realize there was infertility there. You know, I had that too. It took me about 3 years, but yay. And then y'all met Sid. So see, another one of those just, you know, had she not needed to lose the weight also, then you maybe wouldn't have met Sid. And then Sid's now his partner. Oh my gosh, Kristi, you just love Sid too. But back to the basketball. So, and David's wearing a Houston Rockets shirt. David loves not only the Rockets, but just basketball. And I know you were one of the first people I thought of when sports got canceled, because it started with the NBA and it was right around, you know, it should have been the playoffs. I was like, oh, I think I sent you a message. I was like, are you okay?
Yeah. I was actually watching as it happened, and I was like, no.
Yeah, because I knew that was such a part of your life, and I was like, that is just devastating. Like, can't even believe they've canceled sports. What is this life?
It's crazy. Yeah, sports. So that's another little thing. Going off topic a little bit. So with Father's Day coming around, I think out of everything that me and my dad had done, the Rockets during the 2005, I think it was, season, 2006, somewhere around there, when they had the 22-game winning streak, that was probably one of the closest bonds that me and my dad had together. Aww. Like we would literally go home, like come home and get ready for the game, to watch the game. And he's not into basketball. He watched it, kind of like Carolyn. She watches it because I watch it. She knows
Yeah.
about it because I know about it. But for some reason during that year, man, that was a really close bond between us.
I love that. That's really cool. I love that you have that memory with him. But Kristi, so his wife Carolyn, here's another thing. Is like she went to UT, and so I love that. But I love, and I don't know how long. Tell me this in a second, like when y'all met, how long you've been together, but they're like that couple who are just best friends and just laugh and they're so comfortable with each other. And I guess, gosh, I didn't realize it'd been 3 years ago. Was it when you turned 30, y'all went to Austin and you got the tattoos?
No, we went to Vegas. Yeah, that
Oh,
was for
to
our 30th.
Vegas. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
So it was Vegas, but they celebrated his 30th. And another thing about David is he loves pizza. Can y'all see that? He's showing his tattoo. Yeah, he loves pizza. And so it's a whole pizza and there's a slice cut out and his wife has the slice on her arm. Is that so fun?
So I love that.
Yeah. So you guys have been together a long time. When did you guys meet?
We met at Chuck E. Cheese in Humble.
Stop it.
Yeah, so we've always had.
Can I just say that I believe that Chuck E. Cheese is the best pizza like ever.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I used to get that to go all the time.
The best.
There's a thing like during the pandemic, and I don't know if it's in y'all's area. So David, we live in a small town. We live in Brenham. We don't live in Houston anymore. But my daughter, like our kids find everything on social media. Chuck E. Cheese was delivering pizza during the pandemic under a different name, and people were ordering it and loving it because we love Chuck E. Cheese pizza. Chuck E. Cheese gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, but the pizza. I think their salad bar is on point too. I like it.
Oh yeah, I like their salad.
So that's where you guys met. Were you in high school?
She went to Nimitz and I was at MacArthur.
Oh my gosh.
So
are those kind of rival schools, Nimitz and MacArthur?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I was actually pretty upset that she got hired because I was trying to save up for a car. Uh-huh. And the manager just told me, like, here, we've lost X amount of employees. You can have whatever hours you want to work. They're yours. Just come in. I had gotten hired to be the rat. The Chucky rat.
Love it.
So, or mouse.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so then she pops up. I just remember, like, who's this? And he's like, oh, we hired about 3 new employees. And I was like, what? Yeah, I pulled him to the side and was like, you told me I'm trying to get a car here, man. I'm in high school. I need some wheels. So we didn't, it's not that we didn't see eye to eye, but I was just
sure.
Like, oh. But then I think about a couple months went by before the manager somehow on some schedule ended up making us close on the same days, like the same nights. Uh-huh. So it was probably about a month straight where we were kind of just, in the area by ourselves with the other cast members, and we really got to hang out with everybody. And one thing led to another.
Look at that! Oh, that's so cool.
How many kids do you have?
2. My daughter Melanie is 6, and my son Leo is 4, going to be 5 next month.
Oh my gosh, he's going to be 5.
He's going to be in kindergarten.
He's going to be in kindergarten.
Another Delgado.
Oh. Wow.
Brenda's going to have another Delgado at school maybe. Then.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. So it's just so precious, and David has said we could share his photos, so I'm going to post them on our Instagram. But his son Leo is his mini me, and Melanie is his wife's mini me. Like, and when the 4 of them.
Oh, it's backwards.
Or backwards?
Melanie's like me, and Leo's
right. But yeah, I think y'all look like. But yeah, but personality wise, for sure. But like, I don't know, when I see y'all together, and y'all are a team. Y'all, like, your kids, I'm sure they have their moments, but they seem to get along together. And then the 4 of you, like, you just get, every time I see a picture, y'all are always having, you go on adventures, you do things, they try new things, and they just have fun. I just love watching your life.
We try. We try to just make the best out of it, because we, like people say all the time, even that Disney commercial that says they're only little for a little while.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's right. Oh.
It's true. Even this past year when you guys came to register Melanie for kindergarten, I was like, wait, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
It's not time yet.
She was born about the same time that we were going through the whole gym process of opening the gym. So
that's right.
Everybody saw her grow up.
Yeah. And so anyone out there, and we're going to share, I'm going to link Clockwork on there. You know, they have Instagram, they're on Facebook. But if you've ever wanted to try it and you think you can't, please go see David and Sid. And just, I'm telling you, you think you can't, but you can. And they modify things for you. And you know, Tracy, my neighbor, who you guys are going to meet soon too, man, she is so strong, and just you should see her arms. Like, she is a beast, and that's a good thing. And she usually, when she goes to work out, she's always number one. And I can't compete with that. So there's in CrossFit, there's an RX. So, you know, David lists the WOD, and if you can do exactly how it's posted, you've done the RX. Well, I don't think I've ever done the RX, but again, I've never have felt like upset about that, because they're just like, all right, you did it, yay. And you do, and you just always leave there feeling good about yourself and feeling stronger. So yeah, so go see them, try it. You know, if you don't like it, but I think you should definitely give it a try.
I feel like, David, I don't know if this is appropriate or inappropriate, but I feel like you need to know when Brenda's coming back.
Yes, actually, there's still, it's Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday, and that offer is still on the table, Brenda.
I know. So this is what, you guys. So I guess
no pressure.
Right. So around when quarantine started, and he brought me the things, he's like, you know, I will pay for your dinner, all the things at our local restaurant, Manuel's. You know, he's like, I know you love tacos, but he's like, so he has challenged me to do a 5K, and if I train and I do the 5K and I'm successful, dinner is on David. So,
well,
sure is.
Yeah,
I think you could do it.
I think I can, and like I said, you know,
awesome.
I mean, now you know David. You guys are meeting David. I'm like, how can I disappoint this person who is just like believes in me and cheers me on without fail? Like, you know, like even on those days where I'm like, oh, I just don't feel like it's so hot outside. And then I'm like, see David smile. I'm like, okay, I can't. I have to move today. I have to do it. So yeah. So
yeah, during quarantine, I'm not gonna lie though. I had to force myself to get up and do something. If I didn't get out of like my pajama clothes or anything and put socks and shoes on,
yeah,
I was not moving.
Yeah.
So, oh man, that was rough. That was a rough 60 days.
It really was. And I know just for everyone, I think that it just really took us by surprise. But also, you know, and Kristi is not friends with you on Facebook, but I am. And having to be a teacher and have your kids who you love and adore, but some of your posts were funny, like on just those days where he's like, someone help me.
Yeah, it definitely had its moments. It has, well, especially because they're home. So they're like, I'm home. You know, they still saw it as like a vacation. And then randomly we'll have to pull out like the computer and start doing the work and stuff. And they're like, what? Wait, I'm not even ready for this, man. But it was definitely a challenge. But I gotta say, I'm glad Melanie's in kindergarten.
Yes. Well, and I have to say kudos to you too, because Carolyn's an essential employee, so she's probably been working the whole time.
Oh yeah, she was gone a lot.
Yeah, so you really had to hold down the fort and take care of everyone.
Yeah,
So
they enjoyed it, but at the same time, once she came home, it was like, ugh, get away. That's
yeah,
it.
and yeah, and I would think about you because I was like, he doesn't even have basketball to watch. Oh my gosh.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Watching reruns of the 2005 season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did have. They had a documentary about it that they aired, so I actually watched that a couple times.
Okay, well that's good. There you go. So what like what's coming up now that you guys have reopened? Um are people coming back? Are you just picked up where you left off? What's going on at the
Well, actually, we didn't really lose many members when we
Mhm.
first closed, but it wasn't until about 2 weeks later when they said April's pretty much in the dumpster. Uh, that's when we started getting emails and phone calls and uh, just people wanting to put their membership on hold. And
Mhm.
since we had the 3 month promo going on, which was $100 a month, unlimited, come as much as you want for
Mhm.
3 months. Most people signed up around December, January. So once that expired, it just so happened to be on the quarantine side. So
Mm.
the one thing we weren't going to do was go say, hey, do you still want to continue? Knowing that we weren't going to be open. So once
Right.
those, like all those expired, it was kind of just like,
Yeah.
for that time frame. But we lost over half of our members, which was rough. There was a lot of sleepless nights there.
I can
Um,
imagine.
but coming closer to opening, we were like, man, we can do this. We've done it before. It's just like opening. We just got to do the same process. But luckily, man, as soon as we opened, people were coming in left and right, just
That's
grabbing
awesome.
our clothes.
They're trying to
It
lose
is
the COVID-19 pounds they gained.
exactly. That's what it was. That's what it is. But it's been a blessing. It's always a blessing to be able to open your doors every day. Seeing that some businesses weren't making it.
Mhm. Well,
Like I know, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that, yeah, that it's so sad that that part of the small businesses, but I'm glad that you guys were able to make it out, and hopefully gonna be better than ever now.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the members that stayed with us, and
Mhm.
we probably wouldn't really be talking about the gym opening right now, just because it was because of them that they stuck around, that we were able to just squeeze by as much as we did
Mhm.
during those months. But it
It's
was definitely crazy.
and you say it's because of them. It's because of you. It's because who you are and because who Sid is, and that's why, because you guys are really awesome, and I'm glad to know you. I'm glad Kristi finally has a name and a face. Yeah. Hey, so something real quick before we go. I don't know this. Do you have siblings? How many siblings do you have?
This is actually an interesting part. So I do have a older brother
Uh-huh.
and I have a younger sister. So I'm
Uh-huh.
the middle child. But I was adopted at birth, pretty
What?
much. Yeah. So this is where it all gets complicated, because I was raised. So my grandmother was the one that raised me, but she got remarried.
Mm-hmm.
So that becomes my grandpa, but she passed away.
Oh.
So then I decided to stay with him. So he's my dad, the guy that I post all the time with pictures. That's my
Uh,
dad.
uh-huh.
But he has no blood to anybody that that's in our family. And he raised me and two of my other cousins. So all three of us are cousins, but they're my brothers.
Brothers and
So
How old,
yeah.
how
So
old were you when your grandma passed?
I think I was 13, and my younger cousins that were my brothers, they were still babies. Like they were young. I think the youngest one was probably like 2, and then the middle was about 10, somewhere around there. So out of us 3, I was the oldest, but out of my actual brothers and sisters, I was the middle child. So
wow.
I love that he chose you and you chose him. And
yeah, he gave me the options. He was like, man, you know I'm nobody to the family, I guess you'd say, but if you want to go back with your mom, you're more than welcome to, no hard feelings. And I was like, man, I'm not going nowhere. It's like, I got my room right here, man. I'm already set.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's different.
Well, what a great, I'm not going to cry. What a great way to end this, because I love learning new things. I love knowing that about you. And that says to me so much about why you are how you are, is because here was this man who was not even blood related to you and who loved you and took you, and you guys are father and son. Like,
yeah, he did a lot of amazing things.
I
So like I
didn't
said,
know
when he
that.
married my grandma, she had, I think, 8 kids, and he raised all of them. He raised
Wow.
all 8
Please tell me his name.
kids.
What's your dad's name?
Eladio.
Eladio.
Yeah.
Dude, Eladio.
So you might see him around the gym every now and then. We have lunch at least twice a week. We make it our mission to at least go have lunch once or twice a week.
That's awesome and special. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know what made me, I wanted to ask that earlier and I just didn't have the opportunity, but I'm glad I didn't let it go. And so everybody just heard that. But okay, you guys, did you hear that? David makes an effort to see his dad and have lunch with his dad at least twice a week. If you have the opportunity to do that with your dad, with your people, like, do that, make that effort, because you will be glad later.
Definitely.
So, David, thank you for talking to us today.
No problem.
I just love you, and your family so much. And I definitely, you helped me get through a very dark time in my life, and you're still there, and I really appreciate it. And you guys, David's awesome. David Delgado from Clockwork CrossFit in Summerwood here in the Houston area. I'm going to link all his things on our social media. And so thank you. Thanks for listening.
Problem.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Okay.
And we're before Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Happy Father's Day. Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. So, all right.
There's no segue out of this. How about we all just say
bye? Okay.
Yeah. All right, David. Bye. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later. No problem. I'll send you all the things.
Okay, cool.
All right. Bye, David.
Bye.
Bye.